Well, no, it's not the weekend anymore, technically, I guess. What's up, everybody? You are tuned into another week of Access Granted to Powe Jr. Your boy, Mr. Antoine, is in the building. And my lovely and talented co-host will be with us momentarily, man. Want to start this week, man. I hate starting shows on bad notes, but we have to send our thoughts and our prayers and our condolences, man, to the victims of the families down in Jacksonville, bro. It's 2023, man, and we still, you know what I'm saying, we still going through this, man. I'm not even gonna get into all of the details. I think if you watched any news or if you've been on social media over the weekend, you've heard about it, man. And I wanted to find the clip of Ricky Smiley this morning on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show talking to Ben Crump. And Ricky might get fined and kicked off the radio. He was real borderline with a lot of the stuff that he said, and he kind of kept catching himself and saying, bro, I gotta calm down. But I think his sentiment rings loudly at this point with all of the mass shootings. And when I think about stuff like Dylan Roof and like the shooting at the supermarket in Buffalo and everything. And I think about the fact that this young brother, or this young man, because he ain't a brother, that was involved in this one in Jacksonville. It's a scary thought because he was actually on his way to an HBCU to do this shooting. And one of the security officers saw him and, said that he looked kind of suspicious, and they kind of ran him off, and he ended up at this store, man. But, we got so many people, man, in these divided states of America, man, that's still spewing so much hate rhetoric. And it's sad, man, because it starts, at the top, with former presidents that we have, with current governors that we have in the state of Florida. I hate the fact that I have to even go to Florida in October and spend a penny, but I have to go there because I have some stuff that I'm doing. But just prayers out, man, because I can get into some stuff, man, and it might take the whole show, and my guest might not even get a chance to talk. And I gotta give him a chance because he's one of my favorite people, man. He's a big supporter of the show. I love when I see him chiming in. Really good dude, really talented brother, man. And the only person still that's bought any of my gallons of Long Island iced tea. So if for no other reason than that, I gotta show this brother some love. Maurice Carroll, what's going on, my brother?
Hey man, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I told you, man, it's always an open door. And I like it, man, because there's a lot of different things that you touch on every time that we come up here, or every time that you come up here. It's never like the same. We can talk about the producing and all of that kind of stuff, but you always have a good variety of stuff that you want to touch on, man. So it's always a pleasure to chop it up with you. But just give me your thoughts, man, on Jacksonville and all of this stuff, man. I never thought that in 2023 we would still be this divided.
So I need a little bit more information because I have no idea what happened.
Oh, okay. So basically, young white man He's armed with an an AR-15. I was going to say AK-47. He's armed with an AR-15. Again, he was actually on his way to, I can't remember what the name of the school was, but it's a small HBCU down in Jacksonville. The security guards there saw him and started kind of, getting in security mode and warning people. And he diverted away from there, and he went to, I want to say it was a Family Dollar or Dollar Tree, something like that, not too far from the campus. And the first video shows him like literally aim his rifle to a car that was parked, and he shot that person, and then he went on to shoot a couple of more people, and then took the ultimate coward route, I believe, and took himself out as well. And so it's just another in what's becoming a long line of continued hate crime, man. They just hate us because they ain't us, bro. That's the only way I can figure it out at this point, man. We're still in 2023. And, with all of the stuff that's going on with Trump and all of these indictments and court situations that he has going on, the sad part about it is that that man can actually be voted in as president again next year and, be right back at the top, spitting a lot of the same, hate crime stuff and, black hate, anybody that doesn't look like them. And it just saddens me, man, because we're still in a day and time where there's a lot of people that actually believe that they really discovered the country first and foremost, and that, this should be theirs and only theirs. And anybody, who has any melanin in their skin, regardless of how light or dark, needs to be out of here. It's just crazy to me, bro.
So, based on the history of this country, it's not going to go anywhere. It's founded on it. So, instead of wishing, instead of wishing or hoping it's going to change, my position is prepare yourselves, prepare you and your people and your family, meaning legally arm up, legally know how to grow and source your own food, legally, get community together and have, these different things that you can protect your community. That's, because or get your money up and let's go somewhere else. So, but really, it's not going to change. So, it's not going to change. It's not going to change.
Yeah, very, very sad situation. But again, we can talk about that all night, man. And I jokingly said the divided states of America, but it's actually such a true statement. Like, this country is more divided now for me at age 53 than it was when I was, just coming out of the womb, man. And like you said, bro, it's unfortunate that we can do all of the marches that we want to have. We can vote all of the different people that we want into political office and this, that, and the third, man. But unfortunately, like you said, bro, it might come to a point, man, where we just might have to just arm up, literally arm up, and just be ready, bro. Because they haven't gotten to the point where they'll come down to like northern Pennsylvania or nothing crazy, but they're definitely infiltrating. They're definitely. Bro, I live in Sedonia, right off Sedonia Avenue, and 5-6 years ago, when Trump was running for office the first time, there was a rally down in North Carolina, and a guy got arrested for pulling out a pistol at some anti-Trump people. And I found out this dude lives right up the street, right on Sedonia Avenue, right across Hazelwood. And the neighbors were like, when the news went to talk to the neighbors were like, well, we saw the Confederate flag, but we never. Like, really? Like, that don't throw all kind of, red flags and stuff up when your next door neighbor had the Confederate flag on his pickup truck. Like, come on, man. We
right.
It's crazy.
Right. Yeah. We want to be blind to it sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. But what's going on in your world though, brother? It hasn't been long, but longer than expected, because we were supposed to get together a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. But life happens. We here
Yeah,
now.
absolutely, absolutely. Mother Nature happened that day, and
Yeah.
knocked the whole source out. But what's been going on with you, man?
Man, moving, shaking quietly. You know how I do. Stay behind the
Yeah,
scenes and do
yeah.
things here and there. um, yeah, I've just been really bringing awareness to this whole mindfulness and meditation arena, kind of, which I'm kind of glad that you said, you started off the show the way that you did, because it's another stress point. It's something else that
Mm,
creates anxiety and depression, and is things that we internalize and hold in, and it makes us tense and all of that. And so it even brings more attention to and the need for mindfulness. Like, what are we doing to kind of decompress and relax, and to kind of address this anxiety and depression? Like, what are we doing other than substance abuses? What are we doing for real?
yeah,
You
and I'm
know.
not gonna lie, man. This subject, bro, hits so close to home for me right now, man, because my son is definitely dealing with some issues, um, some mental health issues, depression being, one of them.
Hmm.
We're talking about a young man that at the age of 25 has probably been to about 25 or 30 funerals since he graduated from high school. Not in his
Mm.
life, since he graduated from high school. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? This brother, he's seen a lot, man, and you know, doesn't always know how to, address what it is that he's going through. And so that,
Hmm.
when you say that, man, it really hits close to home. And as I think we've talked about before, like the mental health thing is still, for those of us that have reached out to therapy, and different things, it's still like a very taboo thing to talk about in our community, because
Hmm.
we ain't crazy. Ain't nothing wrong with us, man. We, we wake up in the morning, we smoke a little blunt, and we good, not realizing that,
Hmm.
there's so many things, man. And now these days there's just so many triggers that we have. Um it's
Yep.
just crazy, man. And I'm gonna use the word wrong. It's sad. It's not crazy. I don't want to use the word crazy there. It's just sad that, um so many people are going through it and don't really know how to cope,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Right.
And I think that's the boat that my son has been in. Like, he really doesn't know how to cope when
Hmm.
those triggers, react,
Hmm.
so to speak.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
I
so
mean,
and so the mindfulness and the meditation and all of that is something that can probably help a lot of people if they're open-minded enough.
that's the
If they're
part.
open-minded enough
That's the
to
part.
delve in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part. I mean, because we humans first, but specifically, um, in our culture, like you said, we're taught that you know any of these practices are, oh no, I'm not, I'm good, I don't need to do that. And then the secondary layer is, if you have a religious background, you're told or taught to
Yeah.
deal with
Yeah.
those things differently. You're not taught to really address it, you're taught to give it to that entity and
Yep.
leave it,
Pray on it and leave it
and
alone.
yeah. And the reality is really that you do have to deal with it. And the issue is that there aren't enough people that know how to authentically deal, like to teach how to deal with it or coach somebody how to deal with it. So, like, a lot of my clients, when they leave a session of mine, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. I feel this, I feel that. And the reason being is because I come from a authentic place, and it's not okay, this is what I've been taught, this is what I lived through, and this is how I dealt with it, and these are the tools that I used to help me. So now, here, maybe that'll help you, versus textbook reading. And I spent years and memorizing theories. you can't teach it from there. You can't help people from that
Right.
perspective, because really, when it gets down to it, the energy exchange will tell that person whether you really know what you're doing or not, whether it's textbook or if it's an authentic feeling. So like you said with your son, like not knowing how to cope with it, it really comes down to, okay, how is it being addressed? Is somebody talking at him or talking with him? And there's a difference.
There's definitely a difference, because I hate being talked at. I hate being talked at, especially as an adult, bro. I hate people talking at me. So yeah, I definitely understand that, and that's why, even now with stuff that he's going through, I try to tell my son, like, you really have to find somebody that can listen to you and understand, from a professional standpoint, the way to help you. I professionally can't do it. I'm an IT professional. I can give you some advice. We can sit down and enjoy a Ravens game or whatever, but I professionally can't tell you, the things that you need to do, or the things that he needs to do in order to, get where he needs to be. So I definitely understand. So, and you gave it to me in this order. You said mindfulness, meditation, sound healing.
Right.
Are these all? Is this like one conglomeration? Is this like 3 different steps, or are these 3 different ways of dealing with?
Think of them as tiers. Like mindfulness is the umbrella, then meditation is one of the practices, and sound healing is another practice under meditation.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to kind of think about it.
Gotcha.
And I normally say it that way, so that people can kind of understand the relationship between them. It's like, well, what is mindfulness? Well, everything starts in the mind. Your whole energetic outlook on everything, what your life is, it starts in the mind. And even before I go there, we can just go scientific with it and talk about, how we were all taught in school, energy is never created and never disseminated. So it's like, okay, well, it means energy is always there. It's just always moving. So for us, our energy starts in our minds. It starts with a thought. So the sequence is the thought becomes words, the word takes action, the action becomes habit, the habit becomes lifestyle, and that's how your life moves.
Yeah.
And so mindfulness comes first. Meditation is how you kind of calm everything down. And I'm one of those people that like to destroy the myths and the hearsays about anything that we're talking about. I encourage anybody to drop whatever comments, whatever questions you have, drop it in.
Yeah, we ready for the smoke. We ready for the smoke.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hey, but, Lisa, give me hold on 1 second, Maurice. Lisa, give me a thumbs up if you're ready. She gave me a big thumbs up. Lisa Monet is in the building. Welcome, sis. Welcome, sis.
Hi, everyone. Pardon my tardy.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Carroll. How are you?
I'm fine. Ooh, I got the Mr. Carroll. Ooh.
Mr. Carroll.
Listen, I'm tardy, and I don't know. You don't like. I won't address you as Mr. anymore. I promise.
Wow, Mr. Carroll.
No, that's fine. But I haven't been called that in a long time.
A long time. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, Maurice. Well, this is part of my party for your show. I apologize.
Hey, it's the first day of school for the kids. I definitely understand, man. And right. Shout out and prayers, man, to all of the kids, and teachers and advisors and principals and anybody that has anything to do with that. But go ahead to what you were get ready to say, Maurice. Mr. Carroll.
Oh, yeah, so,
all right.
So I like really taking people's misconceptions about meditation and giving the scientific proof behind it and the evidence behind it. And taking away a lot of the mysticism of it and saying, okay, no, this is actually what it is. And then I personally use sound healing to kind of guide those meditational acts and activities.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about sound healing, because this is something that I've been hearing from you for a long time now, man. And it was actually supposed to come out. Was it Valentine's Day that you guys did something this year?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was.
I did
I had planned on coming to that, and then I forgot that when you're married and Valentine's Day comes, you have to connect those arrangements like way in advance. You can't just be like, "Oh, Valentine's Day is Tuesday. Let's get our yoga mats and go sit down."
You know what?
That's what it was gonna be. That's what it was gonna be. But talk a little bit about sound healing, Maurice.
So, all right. So sound healing is the way. There are a lot of different conceptions about what sound healing is. As soon as you say sound healing, the first thing that comes to mind is playing a singing bowl, right? Or so singing bowls are one of the tools that I use. I use vibration and frequency to affect the cells that are in your body. That's what I do. And so, yes, I can use singing bowls and tuning forks. Yes, I can use my keyboard. Yes, I can use indigenous instruments. I can use all of those things. But it's not just the feel good factor when I'm talking about sound healing. And so I use it in a way where the vibrations that you feel, the frequencies that you hear are what I use to affect your body in a positive way. So
my pet sister Dina says that this is the best way to clear the noise and calm the mind. Any suggestions?
Best way to clear the noise and calm the mind. So the first thing is to not think that it means you got to sit in a lotus position and your hands out. And that's the first thing. Meditation is not limited to that. It's not limited to that at all. So you really need to know, what it is that calms you. So for example, you can do a walking meditation where all you're doing is taking a walk and you're paying attention to your steps and your breathing. That's it. That's all. You can do, that meditations can be that in and of itself. So, when you're meditating, that is shutting out the noise, that is calming. So when you are doing something in a meditative state, it's a lot of people have heard, I'm sure you all have heard this too, where they say, oh, you just got to clear your mind, right? And you can't do that. It's impossible to do that. And so even if you're thinking, okay, I'm just going to think about the trees and the space and the sky, you're still thinking. You're not clearing your mind. You just focused your mind. So the intention of meditation is to focus and to stay in a present moment. So, okay, so how do we do that? When let's say we're doing the walking meditation. We're walking and we're paying attention to our heel-toe movement. We're paying attention to how the knees are moving. We're paying attention to our breath, and are we breathing harder, slower? Are we controlling the breath? What happens in our minds when we're taking that walk? Something else, another thought is going to jump in your head. And something else is going to say, "Oh, look, bird. Oh, look, a biker." You know what I mean? It's something else is going to jump in your head, and our action is usually to pay attention to that thought. So if you see the biker, you're like, oh, yeah, okay, he's biking. Geez, that's loud. And I wonder where he's going. Is it going to be more of them? That's entertaining the thought, which is counterproductive to meditation. Meditation, you're supposed to allow the thought to come and allow it to go without you really paying attention to it. So, oh, biker. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm back. Heel toe, breathing. Oh, squirrel. Yeah, nice. Heel toe. When I leave here, I got to go get gas. and yep, I got to get gas. Heel toe, I'm breathing, I'm staying. I'm making a conscious effort to stay in the present moment. I'm not thinking about the guy honking at me when I got to this, or you know what I mean. I'm thinking here now, breath, steps. That's what meditation is.
Okay, so the walk part is interesting to me because I literally have always been one of these people that thought that you needed to be in a quiet space with some calming music playing, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But I remember a couple of years ago, my wife and I were at Patterson Park, and there was a young brother that was literally sitting in the middle of the park, and he wasn't quite in the lotus position, but he was definitely, you know, legs crossed. And I don't know how long he had been there at the point when we walked past, but when I tell you that nothing around him, kids, dogs, birds, squirrels, everything that you can think of going on within a 20 to 25 foot radius of where he was, this guy literally never reacted to anything. And I was just like, this is the meditation goal, you know, that I would like to have if I ever really got into it, because I mean, we're talking a nice summer day. It was a lot of people and there were a lot of things going on. Baseball game going on at the Diamond, you know, over here. He's hearing the cheers, I'm sure, but he just totally was in whatever space that he was. And I just thought that it was a man. We actually stood and watched him for about 5 minutes before we were like, yeah, that guy's gone. He's not going to move until he's ready to move, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's how you do it. That's exactly what I said is exactly how you do that. It's not that he didn't hear it,
but he was able to.
He chose not to react.
Yeah, it's faded in the background to, you know, he's concentrating on his present moment. So the dog barking and the kids and all of the random noises are faded back because he is sitting in that present moment, not giving attention to it, acknowledging that it's there, but I'm here.
Yeah,
that's what it is. So sound healing is one way that you can do it. A walking meditation is another way. You can breathe, just sitting and breathing is another one. Just paying attention to your breath is another one. It's the meditations. When you go to Google it, you're going to find there's so many different types of meditations that you can do. But all of them, the basic, the thing that joins them all is being present. That's it. That's all.
So what are some of the other myths that people have when it comes to meditation? Because again, it's not just sitting there going you know, as many people believe it is. What are some? See, Lisa's one of them. What are some?
No, I was going to chime in because I'm a novice in meditation. I actually just started, so I was going to give one of my to answer Antoine's question. Some of the myths that I've heard was that anything other than prayer is tapping into Satanism. That's what I've always heard. Like if I'm gonna, I tapped into. I grew up in a Christian background, right? I have sage. I have crystals. I have I started meditating. How I get into it is I am quiet. I reflect. I take deep breaths and I sit quietly and I go within. That's how I started. And that's what helps me. I choose to be quiet. There are, like right now, one of my neighbors are cutting all of the grass in the neighborhood, sounds like. But if I was to meditate during this time, I would have to choose not to hear him and his raggedy lawnmower and sit in my space and say, I'm taking a deep breath. But the myth to answer Antoine, the myth I heard is that I'm choosing to walk on the dark side.
Yeah, I've heard that before as well.
So
from
please,
that's just from those perfect super Christians, though, you know.
So please.
All right. Yeah. So I too grew up Christian. I don't subscribe that way anymore, but I did grow up that way. I did hear that. Um, the thing that I do know is that all of religious texts talk about meditation.
They
So
do.
since you're talking about biblically, and you're saying, okay, well, they say, well, anything other than prayer is diving into, but that same Bible tells you to meditate day and night.
And does.
So that same Bible tells you that crystals were in the breastplate of righteousness. So who gets to choose when we're using them and when we're not?
That's right.
That makes sense.
Wow.
That makes a lot
That
of
makes
sense.
sense. So meditation is not anti-Christian. Crystals are not anti-Christian. And so, and it's not even anti-Bible for that matter. So
Mhm.
um because we're going into the details of how to meditate, it also equates to okay, well, that also if we're only going to talk about, say, oh well, don't do meditation because it's going on that other road, then we have to address a lot of other things that are parallel, that are said, oh, you're not supposed to do that. It's like they
That's
would
true
probably,
too.
I've also heard you're not supposed to do chanting. Okay,
Mhm.
who told you that? Where does it say that? So that's a
Mhm.
myth. You
Mhm.
can chant. It says, oh well, you got to be careful of symbolism. Yeah, but we
Mhm.
use all the time. That's a symbol.
And it
You know what I
is.
mean?
Mhm.
And so um my my argument is not to what is being taught. It's the closed-mindedness to not want to learn something else.
Something else.
Yes. That is the
So,
nail on the head for me.
and so and I'll say it this way, and I'm gonna go into the we can go into the next thing unless we want to stay here. But and we also were taught, about spiritual warfare, right?
Mhm.
All right. So can either you tell me anybody who's ever been in war and didn't have knowledge of their enemy?
Mm.
Not one person with a strategy because you have to.
You have to know. You have to know something about whoever or whatever you're calling your enemy. You have to know about them and
Mhm.
know their strategy in order to be at war, to combat it. So,
Right.
it, what type of war are you having if you don't know anything about your enemy? What are you walking into?
Mhm.
What is your strategy at that point?
Right.
Are
Exactly.
you just, oh, well, I'm just going to let the entity that I worship handle it? Okay,
Mm.
well, how? How? What? How? How's that going to happen? What are they going to do? Well, I don't have to know. Okay, but you're in the warfare,
Mm.
and
Probably should know.
and
Uh,
so meditate day and night is one.
Mhm.
Hating on crystals is biblical. Um, Chanting is also biblical. If
Mhm.
chanting wasn't biblical, we wouldn't have the Lord's Prayer. Done. All right. So, if
That's the chance.
chanting was against Christianity, it wouldn't have said, as often as you do this in remembrance of me. If rituals and signs were not, if we were supposed to not do those things, why is it so evident in Scripture? So to bring it back, to bring it back, saying meditation or anything outside of what we were brought up to be deemed as witchcraft. Okay, it's not that. That's a myth. Because if you paralleled first of all, most people that say, oh, that's witchcraft, that's devil worship. Okay, cool. Can you define what witchcraft is?
Mhm.
Now, if you go and say, oh, well, it's these rituals and you praying to other gods and you're doing these things, then 90% of the time I can point to something in the Bible that does exactly what they say witchcraft is.
Yep.
So it's the argument isn't really against the Abrahamic religions or anything like that. It's not against that. My argument is, why don't you know more about what's happening over here? If you want to combat it, learn more about it, so that way you can debate. You can have an intelligent debate, a logical debate, and you don't have to rely on what you believe. You can speak on what you know. All right, I'm done with that.
And see, we have this horrible tool called the internet that's been around for some time now, and the internet, as bad as it is so full of amazing information that if you just take the time to just go, get off the TikTok videos and all of the stuff that you
Google.
spend, your days looking, and actually go and research some of this stuff. The stuff I see on social media is amazing, bro.
Amazing.
Yeah. And that's why I didn't know what was happening earlier when you were what you were talking about earlier. So
Jacksonville, right?
I'm glad that you did. I'm kind of glad that I didn't know, because it speaks to how I protect myself. I know I have a weakness for situations like that. I know things like that trigger me and make me want to react a certain way. So I know where it comes from, so I stop. Okay. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not. If it's big enough for me to know, I'll find out through conversation.
Facts.
Well, I don't want to. I don't want to feed myself anxiety. I don't want to feed myself depression. I don't want to give myself a reason to initiate addictive behavior. So if I know that this instrument over here is always preaching this stuff to me that's making me feel that way, click. I don't want to feel that way. Turn it off. Now I don't know. All right. Now let me go, like what you said. Let me go inward and let me, get myself together.
So with that being said, and this will kind of revert back to the conversation from the beginning of the show. Have you dealt with mental health issues that you've kind of had to, embrace some of these things and everything? And we've talked before, but I don't think we've ever like really gotten into that part about it.
Right, because that's the heavy part. Normally, what we're talking about is the business and the music.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm asking that, and I'm not to cut you, but I'm asking that because as I'm sitting here listening to you, I just kind of feel like there was a reason that something, there was something that happened to kind of make you start, because especially saying that you grew up Christian, there had to be something that made you start looking outside of the Christian walls, so to speak, and kind of getting into, the stuff that you're doing now as far as.
Yeah, there are two different answers. The quick answer for the Christianity part is that I kept asking questions. That's the thing that got me.
That'll do it.
I kept asking questions.
That'll do it. When you seek, you're gonna find, for real.
Exactly. I kept asking questions, just wanting the actual information, not in any debate form. It was like, well, it says this. Well, what does that mean? Well, when? How? Okay, well, this says this. When? How? Why? And when I kept getting to points where the answers, the ministers and so forth, they couldn't answer my question. And like, well, just trust God. Well, I do.
That's the worst. That's the worst thing you can tell somebody.
If he's all knowing, and if we are his children, if we are, all of the things, then I should be able to understand or have access to that information to at least kind of understand why is this? Why did this? When? Who? Huh? I kept asking questions. That when I got to the line of no more answers, that's when I was like, it's answers somewhere. So I started asking other people, and hey, do you know about this? Like, for example, I wanted to understand. I had heard that there were other people that performed miracles. Okay, cool. Can you show me? Can you display that? And then when they could bring me historical evidence that it happened, Boom. When I said, okay, I'm someone, and I know you probably told my background, and I know Antoine, I know you know this of me. Like I love my culture, and it's a lot of times, even with what I wear or how I present myself, I'm very unapologetic with my culture and my clothing, all of that. That's how I am. So when I realized, okay, well, we had tombs of people that existed before biblical times. Where are any of the people that existed in the Bible? Where are any of their graves? Any of them? And when I got to questions like that and the answer didn't come across, I'm like, okay, somebody else tell me. Somebody, and I'm looking, hey, somebody tell me something. There's an answer somewhere. And that's when I started getting my answers. And that's why I was like, oh. And, I do believe in a lot of the principles that are taught in scriptures. I don't want anybody to kind of think that I'm bashing any of the religions. There are great principles in there. It's just a matter of how you're interpreting it. It's a matter of, are you believing it to be this literal thing, or are you looking at this as a life practice theory, kind of like how are you looking at it? So I do believe that. In terms of the things, the depression and the anxiety and things like that, yes. All right. So Antoine, I don't think you've ever known this one. So I was diagnosed as a workaholic, and years ago. We're talking 20. I know, right? Wow. So what that meant was, I was not the person when people say, oh yeah, I work a lot too. No. I had to work. I didn't know, like I would have anxiety attacks if I took too long of a break. That's what was my issue. So over the years, like for example, there were years that I didn't average more than 4 hours of sleep a night. Years. Because I would work, go to sleep, wake back up, back at it again. And I just couldn't stop. And then taking a day off for me would put me into a panic attack. It would make me literally hyperventilate. And I just couldn't, like, oh, you're not going to work tomorrow. We're going to be doing here. Oh no, okay, cool. I'm going, but I got my laptop. I got my phone. I got something, I'm doing something. But when my therapist was like, hey, look, take a day off and just go do something that you like to do. I'm sitting in there talking to the therapist, like, and you could see the sweat. I couldn't handle the idea of taking a break. So that was the addictive behavior that I dealt with. So I know that's an eyebrow raiser for you, Antoine, because I know all these years you do that.
And I will go on the record in front of all 50 million of our fans right now and say that I will never, ever be diagnosed as being a workaholic. Ever.
Not ever.
In my 28 and a half, getting close to 29 years of state service, I'm that one that's been known to need a slick day. I'm that one that's been but I've heard that before. And the crazy part about it is, in fact, I've heard it on 2 occasions. The crazy part about it is, every time I've heard it, it's been someone in the music industry. Every time I've heard it, it's been someone in the music industry that can't just, and I'm talking, I got a studio in the house. I went to sleep at 12:37. At 12:55, I'm getting up and I'm going down in the studio because something has hit my brain. And now I got to go and and like, so you said that, at that point you were literally only getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep. That's me now. That's like normal for me now. But it's not because I'm a workaholic. It's just because my mind goes a million miles a minute, man. with
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I was talking to you about earlier, um, with stuff trying to figure out how to take access granted to the next level, this, that, and the third. I'm like always thinking. And the reason that I was asking about the meditation is because I was wondering if the meditation is something that if I started doing it the right way, because sitting in the bed with the headphones on, with something over my eyes so I can't see,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, that's
Mm-hmm.
not going to work. And I was just
Mm-hmm.
wondering if there was something that I could really like do, you know. And another question I was going to ask as a part B to that was, when you do meditate, is there a time limit? Is there a certain amount of time? Is there a minimal amount of time? If I'm only meditating for, a minute, but that's a good minute, does a good solid 1 minute of meditation beat 3 minutes of, you know, your mind going
Mm-hmm.
like that, so to speak?
So I'll work backwards. There is
Okay.
no time limit.
Okay.
Um, I've gotten people to just meditate for 3 minutes and
Mm,
feel the difference. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the headphone eye cover thing, it is good, and there's a science behind that.
yeah.
And no, it doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but it can. And so even in your case, it can work. Um, what I would suggest for you is to make sure that you're with those thoughts that keep popping in your head is to let them hit and let them go instead of entertaining them. That's what's keeping your mind going because you're entertaining
Mm,
the thoughts that's coming. You see what I'm saying? So the reason why the eyes and the ears are covered, the eyes, you take in a lot of most of your information through your eyes. So once
yes,
you
right.
cover that, it forces you to go inward. The
Mm-hmm.
headphones work because it distracts you from any other sounds or anything else that's happening around you. So that's really why both work. And what happens in the brain turns off those sensories and causes you to go into a different wavelength, literally a different brain wavelength, so that you start to calm down. You start to kind of go inward. So the technique is to kind of combine both of those with the okay, I'm gonna put something over my eyes, I'm gonna put something on the headphones, but then there's the additional piece of those are not going to work if the thoughts come and you're entertaining the thoughts. Now you just listen to the
Mm-hmm.
headphones with a blindfold on.
Right.
Right.
That's not
Right.
that's not the
Right.
same thing. Is
Right.
the point of it is to let go of the thoughts so that you can kind of be in a present moment. The music that you're listening to, like in my sound healing class, I teach you how to hear past the music that you're used to listening to. And I've gotten,
Mm-hmm.
if any of my students ever tell you tell you about that experience, they almost all of them have hit me at a time or another saying, I hate you. I can't listen to this anymore because I hear this now. Or, it's in joke, but they also are thankful.
Yeah.
But you can listen. I teach people how to listen to trap music and meditate. It don't matter what kind of music. You can listen to thrash metal and meditate. I can teach you how to do that. It's not. It's.
Man,
I'm telling
bro,
You
you.
better go to
I'm,
his class.
I thought you had to get one of those YouTube videos that was like 3 hours long, where it had the violin music playing with the waterfall.
And that's actually what I was going to ask him too. I was about to ask him what
Wow.
what hurts. Which hurts would he suggest? I was about to ask you
Mm,
that
great
too.
question.
The
yeah.
frequency.
Yeah.
So there are frequencies that you should listen to. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I'm gonna go to Broadway first. The because most people don't know this. Like right now, all of our Western music is tuned to 440 hertz, right?
Okay.
Um, it that is outside of the universal um, hertz. The universal hertz is 432,
Okay.
432 hertz. Music used to
Mm-hmm.
be created in that in or around those hertz because that's what resonates with our bodies. That's what the Earth's frequency is. That's what all of nature's frequency is in 432. So what actually happened is it was changed to 440 on a universal level, we're going to tune to 440 now. And it took us out of being in alignment with universal frequencies and energy. So in terms of the question about the hertz, what I would say is, okay, let's find something that is in the 432 hertz if you can. If you can't, if that's too much work, the other technique is learning how to listen to your music and meditate and clear your mind to the same music you always listen to. Now, and I can't really give away all of those secrets because that's part of the class, but
what happens if you listen in the 963? That's too much.
So now you're going into the details of the different hertz and the different wave patterns and how it affects your body. Like, so you'll look on YouTube and this one to say, oh, this is for pain. This one is for positive thinking,
positive energy, cleanse negative energy, deep meditation. I'm sitting here looking at this as we're talking about it, literally.
Yeah. So what happens is there are the ones that you are seeing probably on YouTube or something like that. There are two different types of frequencies that you can listen to. There are the musical frequencies that you listen to, and then there are also the angelic frequencies that you listen to, or the universal frequencies that you listen to. And to not go into too many details with it, because I don't want to have everybody like, wait a minute, how you do carry the 3? And I don't want to
turn into a math problem here.
My bad.
But those, when you see frequencies like that, those frequencies are in tune with our bodies. And what I mean by that is that when you use frequencies on that level, it basically goes into the molecular structure of your body and moves the cells and vibrates the cells in a way to make you feel those things. So for example, if I say, okay, well, you're coming to me and you're always in your feelings all the time, and you want me to address your heart energy center, or people say heart chakra. If you want me to address that, I know, okay, we're going to put you right around that 512 hertz. And I know what's going to happen is you're going to start to feel, and you're not going to feel it, but internally, these vibrations are going to happen around that energy center, and they're going to vibrate to a point where your molecules are going to start to kind of gather and move and spin in that way, which is going to help balance that particular chakra.
That's good. That's good right there. Wait a minute now.
You right on Lisa. You right on Lisa Street right now.
Yes. Come on, Street.
She's like, this personal now.
What you know about me?
Because I'm an emotional person. So I need to be at the 512. Okay. Yes. Okay. Because I kept saying, what is all of these numbers? This is like a 963, and it's a 777. I'm like, with 3 7s. I'm like, okay, what y'all doing? But that makes a lot of sense. And I'm not going to give away your secret sauce.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, if you're watching and you need to figure out which number you need to frequent, no pun intended, go see Maurice Carroll.
Yes, go to Mr. Carroll. Dang, I said it again. Okay, go to Maurice.
Did you say Mr. Carroll again?
So sorry.
Oh, goodness.
So Maurice,
I'm sorry.
I want to get into this AHS intro that you sent me to.
Yes, sir.
You
want to talk about it, or you want to play it?
Both.
Okay.
Now the question is, do you want me to play it first, or do you want to talk about it?
Doesn't matter. I'm good either way.
Okay, let's play it first. But before we get into that, since my co-host was late tonight, we didn't do a t-shirt check.
Oh.
So my t-shirt is Jefferson Cleaners.
They say who? Jefferson Cleaners?
From the legendary Jeffersons. Yes. Jefferson Cleaners.
Really? Listen.
New York City, 7 locations, 1 near you.
Wow.
Yes. Let me tell you, I found this t-shirt because you remember last week I had the McDowell's.
Yes, I want that one.
I found this t-shirt thing on Facebook, And y'all know how the algorithms work. Once you hit it once, they coming at
they're
you
gonna
every
keep
day,
sending
beating
it.
you over
Oh
the head.
my goodness.
And yeah, this is so crazy right here. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
OWX Music.
Yes, sir.
Bro, okay, so now I gotta back up a little bit because that was gonna come later in the show because I was last week years old when I found out that you were a part of OWX. And I actually have the video for Wahala tuned up, ready to play. I was like,
Nice.
bro, I didn't know. Where have I been?
I don't know. Oh
Shout out
man.
to my man Femi. But we're gonna get into the AHS intro first. But we're definitely, yes, he's saying what? That's probably Femi too. That's probably him right there.
Yeah.
Bro, I did not know. And it's crazy because I only looked at the Wahala video because it came on after the video that we played last week for Amnia.
Right.
Okay.
The Wahala video was next up, and I was like, oh, let me watch this. And of course, it's my man Femi. Me and Femi cool, even though he is yet to come and be on my show, but that's another story for another day. But I'm looking and I'm like, that's my man Maurice back there. And I actually have that video queued up, but we're going to get into this AHS intro first, and then we'll be back. Hold on, let me cue this up. Like I said, that's probably Femi back there talking all this trash, but no, bro, I definitely didn't know. Let's get into this one. How come us?
Tonight, what we are going to be focusing on is the heart chakra. You're going to feel vibrations. Inside of the frequency that I will be playing, there is a hertz that is specifically designed to target your heart chakra.
I feel like I would go through that and then wake up and feel like I would sleep for like 13 days. Like I really feel like that's one of those experiences. And is that what I missed on Valentine's Day? Was that? Yeah.
Yep.
See what you did, wife? No, I'm just playing.
No, that was your fault. Cause see, the both of y'all could have been on a different frequency. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That was you.
She wanted crab
was you.
cakes.
Y'all could have had him afterwards.
But talk a little bit about that intro video, Maurice.
So that is an example of what the sound healing experiences that I offer, what they are. We did that one. I did another one at City Arts 2, and I did one at Shake and Bake. I did one at the Harlem Theater in Harlem Park. So what they are, it's really the reason why I call them sound healing experiences and not a sound bath is because the experience, what I do is use the actual vibration. So when they were laying on the floor, they could actually feel the vibrations of the frequencies that I was using. And then you saw somebody doing like this. They were playing the theremin. I don't know if y'all know what that is, if y'all have seen that instrument before.
I'm not. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, it's called a theremin. My homegirl, cellist, she plays it, and basically you're playing the frequencies in the air, so she can control the volume in the air and control the notes in the air. So that's how the instrument is played. So I asked her to accompany me, and so between my keyboard, the singing bowls, her playing the theremin, we had somebody that you saw using the tuning forks, going around to each person and dinging the tuning forks. And so they get it's a whole experience. It's not just, okay, I'm gonna sit and chant and play a bowl, which there's nothing wrong with that. But the reason why I call mine an experience is that so that you can understand that it's more to what I'm offering than that. And so what those, like when in the video, you can hear me talking about the heart chakra. I specifically did that. I used a very, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I thought about when you said the word. I thought of something when you said the word heart. And you know
okay. So I used a specific a specific frequency that was embedded in that music that you were listening to. So the music that was playing during the video was live. That was that was what we recorded that night. So that the music, instead of using a background, like you said, finding something on YouTube, what you heard in the video was what they heard that night. Does that make sense? Yep. So yeah. So each time I do it, I focus on a different chakra. And if anybody missed it, the audio is available on the website. But yeah, and it's all of the audio that you hear on the website was done live. There's no studio stuff. I played it all live.
And what does a tuning fork do again? It's called a tuning fork?
Yeah, tuning fork. So you can use it to, so we've seen it in doctors' offices. They use it to bang your knee to make you flinch to see
to check your reflexes.
Yeah. But so sound healing tuning forks are all tuned to a specific frequency. So for example, if I'm going to do a crown chakra or your crown energy center, because I kind of go between saying chakra and energy center, because energy center they the same things, but I like saying energy center better because it doesn't sound as mystical and it sounds a little bit more, you can understand it better. So you ding it, and what happens is when you place it on that crown chakra, you'll feel the vibration go through your body. And so also what it ends up happening is when that vibration is happening, it's also pulling whatever energy, whatever molecules that are like kind of in disarray, it starts to do like this. It starts to bring them where they're supposed to be. So that's what the tuning forks do.
Wow.
That's interesting, especially now since he said that that's the thing that the doctor keeps banging me in the knee with.
And your knee moves, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I kicked the crap out of my messing around with that thing. I'm trying to find Maurice on video on YouTube, the video with the heartbeat sample. What's the name of that?
Oh, it's called I Feel Like.
I Feel
If
Like.
You go on my, you said,
I got you. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I definitely want to play that, because when, like, you posted that and you said that I literally sampled my heartbeat, and I was like, man, I gotta go hear this. And I was like, wow. I was like, wow.
So speaking of depression and the anxiety and all of that, one morning I woke up and I was dizzy. And I didn't know what was going on. It wasn't anything. I wasn't drinking the night before. hadn't taken. It wasn't none of those things. I just woke up and the room was kind of doing this whole thing. And so I was like, okay, this isn't normal. I go to the ER. Long story short, they said I had vertigo. They kept me, testing me. They doing the maneuvers to trying to get the crystals in my head into the right place, which is something people don't even realize. Yes, you have crystals in your head. We'll talk about that later. But they were putting them in the right place. But the dizziness has never gone away from me. So while I was in the hospital, they were doing all of these tests to find out what is going on. And when I was in the hospital, I asked the nurse, I'm in there, they had me all hooked up. And I said, hey, can I record that? And they were like, you gotta, no, I gotta check. And then they checked and they were like, yeah, we can record it. So they had it on me and then they moved it around so I could get different tones and everything. I recorded it with my phone. And then, they released me like a day or two later. But the thing is that I've been dizzy ever since that day, and they don't know what's wrong.
They don't know.
So the anxiety and the depression, the way that I combated it, because in that moment, if I didn't know in that moment, I could have gotten very upset in a heavy depression. I could have had the anxiety, like, how am I going to move forward? But I took that sample of the heartbeat, put it in the song, and I turned that song into something where it was meant to bring attention to anxiety, to depression, to addictive behaviors. And I talked with the people at Music Cares. Music Cares, they are the nonprofit side of the Grammys. And so I talked to them about what I was doing. I gave them my story. I told them that I wanted to help raise money for their causes because they help musicians and they help music. Like they've given me custom earplugs. They've given me hearing aids. They have all of these different things that are available for musicians, and most musicians don't know that they exist, but their organization, they still need funding. So I wanted to use my experience and my example to raise money.
And awareness. And awareness.
Yeah, and awareness. Yeah, because I know that musicians in particular, music creators in particular, a lot of times we suffer from these things and we don't get the help that we need.
Yeah.
And a lot of times musicians say, and I was guilty of it at one point too, that music is my therapy and I'm pouring out and this is my release. Great, no argument. It is your release and it is therapy. However, you're giving and you're pouring. What are you doing to replenish?
You're getting back. Yeah.
Right.
So mindfulness, meditation is how you pour back into yourself. And that video is what I used and what I'm using to kind of bring awareness to it.
And we're going to get into the video, but I'm sitting up here laughing because it's like you almost had to get the sample cleared of your own heartbeat in order to be able
to
the song. I'm like,
they don't be trying to release the good juice. They don't be trying to do that.
It's like when they had to get clearance or permission, like who did they ask? What were they getting the clearance for? Like, I think my heartbeat belongs to me.
Right.
You had to go through a process to get that clear.
Right.
That's funny.
Like,
but I definitely want to get into this video. I've probably watched this video about 4 or 5 times, and I think it's dope. But just the fact that he sampled his own heartbeat in here is just like totally crazy to me. So and I don't think we played this the last time that you were on, so I definitely want to get into it this time. Let's hop in now. I feel like Maurice Carroll.
22, I went into the hospital due to extreme dizziness, and the sound that you are hearing is my actual heartbeat that I sampled within this track.
With clearance.
The beeping sound that you're hearing imitates the heart monitor. Musicians are twice as likely to experience depression. I use percussion sounds to imitate me bringing my ancestors into the room with me. 68% indicate mental health issues negatively impact their lives and career. Substance abuse is a major concern, with studies showing rates of addiction significantly higher for musicians. Studies show that 73% of musicians reported experiencing anxiety or panic attacks. In the video now are dancers showing the different personalities of musicians, some erratic movements and some calm movements. Some of the benefits of sound healing: it lowers blood pressure, reduces stress and anxiety, and it helps mental clarity and balance.
Chasing me when I don't know I'm running.
Slow motion video of dancers dancing erratically, showing signs of desperation for help.
Sometimes my gifts,
One of the dancers is doing a bird-like movement with the wings.
I shouldn't be.
And then falls to the floor, kind of symbolizing how we feel that we are flying amongst the clouds, and then all of a sudden anxiety or depression hits and we're back on the ground again. Musicians are 3 times more likely to experience mental health issues, usually due to isolation, financial difficulties, and because they're limited to the access of mental health resources compared to the general public.
When I'm dancing or crying.
And now we have dancers twirling.
Lost that I lack.
Some are reaching up to the sky, looking for help. And now they're facing off with each other to symbolize the different personalities that we all have as music creators. Music Cares helps the humans behind music because music gives so much to the world. Click the link in my bio to donate to Music Cares. Help me help them because they help us. This project was brought to you by Stinky Face Music, Alchemist Sound Healing, and video production by Keystone Productions.
Stinky face. Stinky face. and shout out to one of my favorite photographers, videographer, Keston Dakota. He always does his thing. Shout out to my girl Tracy Jacobs, who was one of the dancers in the video. And Maurice was inboxing me saying that his battery is draining, and I think Maurice is gone at this point. Yeah, I think he's just about either that or he's in deep meditation right now and just not paying attention to anything that's being heard or said.
No.
But I definitely I want to thank Maurice, man, for coming up. Yeah, he just plopped off. But it's always fun to have Maurice because he's a producer, he's an amazing, instrumentalist.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a lot of talent as far as, music is concerned. But Maurice always wants to come on and talk about some other things. And it's always a pleasure just to have him up, just to chop it up about different things and to bring awareness. And I saw that you were like really into the meditation part of it. And so was I, because, again, it's something that I've tried. I think I may have to keep trying different ways, until I find something that works for me. But, in these days and times, I'm really trying to find a way that I can just, get my mind right for a few minutes. It's hard. It's hard.
It is hard. And I feel like, you have him here and it's like, you need to sleep. That 3 to 4 is not good, and you got to somehow find a way to quiet your thoughts. So
yeah, it's hard because Like I can really get into sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll hear something, and I'll be out of that sleep, and it'll feel like I slept for like 5 hours, and I look at the clock, and I've been asleep for like 20 minutes, like
Oh
literally.
my goodness.
You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I kind of have to work on. But yeah, I definitely love bringing Maurice up. We got to get together and go to one of those workshops.
Okay.
We have to go to one of those workshops. I'm gonna get my wife out to one,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna sit there and we're just gonna zone out. In fact, if I am not mistaken, he has one. Bingo.
Bingo.
September the 4th, which is on a Monday. That might be kind of hard for people because it's from 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Mm.
And according to this flyer, he only has 4 spaces available. And he posted this video, or he posted this flyer on August the 21st. That was a week ago.
Mm.
But if you're interested, hit me up and I can definitely share the information. That one I'm not going to be able to do. I know for a fact.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. But
that wouldn't be good. Because the 4th, well, that would be Monday, like Monday coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold up. That's Labor Day. Is that Labor Day?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe that's
In fact, he just popped back in. So let's ask him.
Let's ask him. Hey.
You have a sound healing class coming up on Labor Day?
I do.
Okay. Which makes sense now for the hours because he's probably assuming that a lot of people are off.
Exactly. That's how I would normally set it up.
Okay. Makes sense now. Yeah, and we had just shared that, and as of last week when he posted the flyer, he only had 4 spaces available. I don't know if that's still the case now or.
Yeah, it's people are starting to show their interest now, so it's best to go ahead and click the link and make it happen.
and get that in. And if you just go to Work with Maurice Carroll, oh no, that's longer than I thought it was.
Yeah, it is.
If you go to Maurice's Facebook page, you can click on this long link that he has there. But Lisa and I were just saying that I know we won't be able to make that one, and I know Lisa's schedule is a little bit difficult at times. But we got to come out. We got to come out and experience it. And I'll bring the wife, man, and we see if we can just sit down and just like totally forget the space that we're in for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or however long that it lasts, because I definitely was interested in the one on Valentine's Day, but again, I didn't plan accordingly, so I wasn't able to make that one. But
so there's 2 different things that you're talking about, though.
Okay.
One is the class, and one is the session, the experience.
The experience. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the class is longer?
The class is like roughly about 6-7 hours.
Wow,
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's happening on Labor Day.
When I looked at the time, I just kind of felt like there were some different sessions going on, and if you got there anywhere between that time, you.
Oh no.
That way, that makes sense. Okay.
You guys start at 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when is your next experience, so to speak, or do you have anything scheduled yet?
I'm working on it actually. I do know the Black Arts District. I have an opportunity to go back and do another one there. So I'll start those conversations. But if people have spaces and availability and all of the things to make it work, because it costs a little bit to make it work. So if that presents itself, I would do it as often as I would be allowed to, actually, because it's that powerful.
Wow. Well, Lisa and I are going to do our best to make sure that we can make the next one. So
yeah.
And we may have to drop an elbow on Lisa to wake her up after.
I do. You know what? I do not. Now I'm gonna tell you. I had meditation when I was in high school in the 12th grade, and because I was a novice and my teacher didn't teach us, I was asleep. I was knocked out the whole time. Okay. But now going forward, now that I realize how I don't sleep. I'm actually in a meditative state, and And I was going to ask you too, because there are a lot of times that, okay, this is probably going to blow people's mind when I say this, but there are a couple times that I felt like I was floating. Is that normal? Okay.
Yeah. That's normal. Yep.
Yeah.
There are different reactions. Some people feel like they're floating. Some
or like
people
spinning.
yeah,
Like spinning a couple times.
yeah. Some people see colors. Some people just feel different things move in their body. It really depends. Some people don't feel anything and they just say, "Oh, I just fell asleep," which is, it happens.
That would be me. Not realizing that I was probably out there floating and everything.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's another myth that, some people, that everybody's going to have the same experience. And if you don't have the most popular experience, you're doing it wrong. That's not accurate either. Yeah.
That's just people that have too much time on social media or whatever to think that, like, we're all created differently. So how can we all get the same experience out of, out of something?
Right.
That doesn't even make sense. I wouldn't expect to come out of it with the same feeling that Lisa had, or, and definitely not this one upstairs. Because there ain't no telling what she gonna be thinking in the time that she's out. So I know my thought would definitely be totally different than hers. But yeah, like that would be crazy for you to just think that, everybody's gonna feel like they're all floating and rotating, at the same frequency at the same time. That doesn't even make sense. And if you come with that, I feel like if you came with that mind frame, you wouldn't get anything out of it.
Right.
Or you can get all of it out of it that you're supposed to.
Right.
Because it's like as soon as you're not floating, then you feel like, oh, it's not working.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, and that's one of the main points of why I'm doing this and why I teach the way that I teach, why I do interviews and things like that, is because I'm tired of the mysticism around this whole healing process. To say, oh well, sound healing is this thing and meditation is this thing and you're not supposed to do any of it, or I want to do it. There's just not enough information out there. I've heard this, I've heard that. One of the things for me is, okay, ask the questions. I know, I'll tell you what I know. If I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. But it doesn't mean that the answer isn't there. But let's get past the secrets of it. Let's get past the mysticism of it. And let's put it into practice because we all need it. It's something that we all need to do.
Right.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely makes sense. Anything else you want to leave with the people before we get out of here?
Yeah. Start. Look up meditation. Look up the different types. Start. Do something. Because, we all experience anxiety and depression on some level. We all have some, or have not. We all have, but some of us have had addictive behaviors and things like that. Our bodies need to be relaxed. We're not supposed to stay in that fight or flight sense all the time that we are. And so my message is, look, even if sound healing isn't your thing, if the way that I do it isn't the way that helps you or whatever, you don't have to do sound healing as your form of meditation. But my point is to find some form of mindfulness practice to do more, at least once a week. Give yourself 5 minutes. A week is nothing, but like if you can do 3 to 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, do that. Start there. You don't have to do the whole half an hour, 45 minutes, hour of sitting in lotus.
Yeah. And that's why I asked earlier if there was a time limit or at least like a minimal amount of time that you're supposed to do it. So I'm glad to get that information from you.
Yeah, it's more about the intention. It's more about you getting your body into a relaxed state to, and a reset really is what it is. It's really a reset. And, to really just make the effort to do it. Your body will thank you. Your mind will absolutely thank you because you're giving it a break. Just slowing it down a little bit is That part is literal. Like when they say, "Oh, you got to free your mind, slow your mind." The way the technique that I showed, that's what it actually is. Slowing your mind down, not stopping it and having a blank slate in your mind. That's not it. But stopping yourself from entertaining every single thought. It's the practice of you controlling your mind and your mind not controlling you. That's what it is.
You hear that, Lisa? You get all of that?
Yes.
Free your mind and the rest will follow. Nah, man. Hey, Maurice, man, always a pleasure, bro. Always a pleasure chopping it up with you. I definitely learn something new and take something from the conversation every time we chop it up, man. So within the next 6 months, come on, we'll do it again because you'll have some more stuff that you want to talk about. So
I sure will.
Of course, just hit me up and we can definitely make that happen, man. I appreciate you, bro. Let people know, man, if they're interested in learning more, how they can contact you, how they can follow you.
Okay, on social media, you can follow me at Maurice L. Carroll. That's on all of them: Instagram, Facebook, all of them. Is that one handle? On my website, you can find me at Alchemist Sound Healing, ALKEMMUST soundhealing.com. You'll know it. It's be a purple logo. Shoot a contact information or anything like that, and that's the best ways to catch me and find me.
Hold on, just wanted to share that real quick.
Yep, there it is.
That's the website, man. So make sure that you reach out, man. And unlike some people, Maurice actually gets back to you. So reach out. He will get back to you, man. But again, man, always a pleasure, bro. You know, we're in 2023. I still haven't got my macaroni and cheese from Janice, but
I think you should hit her up and ask her.
I've been asking her since like 2012, man. But no, shout out to Janice, man. I actually haven't talked to her in a long time, and probably need to get her up here because I know you guys have a lot that you're doing together.
Yeah.
And everything, and just, you know, in general, I mean, I don't know if she's still messing around with the music stuff, but I just haven't had a conversation with her in a while, so it would be fun to get her up here, man. But always appreciate you, man. You know, and again, the door is open. We'll get you up here in the next few months and talk about some more.
Thank you and appreciate you.
Right, always, bro. Always, man. Shout out to my brother Maurice Carroll, man. Always a good brother, man. One of my favorite people to talk to. It has nothing to do. And we didn't even really touch on the music stuff. That's another thing that we could have gotten into and talked for another hour, man. But I really love the work that he's putting in with this meditation and the sound healing stuff, man. And you know, anytime he wants to come up and kind of spread the word about that, you know, I'm always open for it, man. So another thing that we didn't touch on,
what?
Got this little event coming up, man. I'm trying to present, but the screen.
You trying to present it?
Operating. There we are.
Yes.
And I actually have a new flyer that I'm supposed to be putting together, but I haven't gotten it done yet because there's been a lot going on.
I understand.
I just haven't had time, man. But tickets are still available for September the 21st, man. The Hot Winter Sip and Paint Experience with my girl Ja Avi, my girl Star B from Baltimore. And then from Dallas, we have Yo Wingman, Tad Nips, and Jay Waiters. Hosted by the lovely and talented Lisa Monet. Tickets are $45 if you want to enjoy the entire Sip and Paint experience, or if you just want to come and check out the show. They're only $10, man. There's going to be access granted drinks available. We're going to have an amazing menu lined up. This is going to be held at Tambers, which is right on, I can't see that address, but it's on St. Paul Street. So look it up because I can't.
And then the $45 includes the Sip and Paint and the menu.
$45 includes a lot. You get a lot for $45.
Yeah.
You get the Sip and Paint. You get wine vouchers. You get to enjoy the show. You get it's really an entire. And this is actually the first. I don't think I've mentioned this before. This is actually the first stop on the Hot Winters tour.
Oh, they have a tour.
Jay Waiters. Yeah, he's actually going on tour. And he wanted to come to Baltimore first, man, because he's had an amazing time. I've had him on the show. I've had him on the acapellas and acoustics, and he's really a great guy. So, and this is actually, again, as I've said before, man, the first time that access granted has been, you know, on that flyer. So this is like a our first representation. So I know people have purchased tickets, man, but we still have tickets available, man. Just come out and enjoy. It's going to be an amazing experience. I've seen the menu, and I may actually pay for a plate because the food looks like it's going to be just that good with the lamb chops and the crab cakes and all of the sides and the string bean. Yeah, I see you, Maurice. Yeah, Maurice is in the background clapping like, yeah, man, it's going to be an amazing menu put on by my girl, darling Dina. So yeah, just come out and support, man. We're looking forward to it. As close as I get to the event, I still have my nervousness, but I kind of am in that it's going to be what it's going to be mode.
Yeah, you
And
have
if
to
you
be
miss
that
it,
way.
shame on you. Also, we will not be on next week because it is Labor Day. And we want to respect everybody's wishes to enjoy your holiday. Hope everybody has an amazing weekend. We will be at Collective Minds Festival on this Sunday.
We will.
There will be an access granted tent set up. We ain't gonna be doing nothing but sitting and enjoying the music, and I might have some drinks out there to sell. But come out and holler at us, man. It's an amazing lineup of DJs that they had. And it's back at Poly this year, which is good and bad because the event starts at 12. If you're not there by 11, you're probably gonna have to catch an Uber or a Lyft from wherever you park, just because parking is horrendous up there. But
yeah, it is.
I say that not to discourage you, but to encourage you to get there early or to make appropriate arrangements, because it's going to be, but my man Tommy Davis is capping off the event. And if you've never seen Tommy Davis DJ, it's a whole experience. It's a whole experience, man. Tommy, gets up there and really puts on a show. And the guest that we had a couple of weeks ago, my girl DJ Blue Angel, she is going to be the opening act. So definitely looking forward to coming out and supporting her, man. She's an amazing young DJ. I'm not going to call her a house music DJ because I know she does other genres as well, but she really specializes in house music. And then Jordan Pope, who's another young, up and coming DJ. And I told her when they were on when she was on the show, I love the fact that it feels like there's a passing of the torch, so to speak, are the DJs. The fact that they're letting two very young, and especially a woman, because I've been to Collective Minds a few times. I don't remember a woman DJ. So this is like this is like, I could be wrong because I have missed some, so I could be wrong. But I definitely feel like there's a little bit of history and a little bit of passing of the torch as far as the house community is concerned. So definitely looking forward to that, man. So if you're not doing anything next Sunday, starting at 12 noon, come out to Poly.
Yeah.
And hang out with Access Granted and all of them house heads, man. Y'all know Baltimore. Y'all know how the house heads do. y'all know how they do. It's a party each and every time, man. So, we appreciate you guys, man. Thanks to everybody that tuned in. Again, we won't be on next week, but the following week, we have my sister, very, 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 very amazing singer out of Baltimore. Her name is Chanel Narcissus. She has a new project that she's dropping. She has this song that's available on all streaming platforms right now called Beautiful. And it's an amazing song. I would play it tonight, but I feel like since she's coming on in 2 weeks, we might as well save the song for when she's here. But go check her out, man. And again, she's gonna be here in 2 weeks, and we're gonna have an amazing show, man. So with that being said, man, we appreciate everybody. Have an amazing rest of the week. Have an amazing week next week. Baltimore, put the damn guns down, man. I say that every week, and I'm gonna keep saying it until it happens. Even though, as Maurice and I said earlier in the show, like it's we're fighting an uphill battle, but we're gonna keep putting that positive energy out there. And again, man, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of those affected, in the mass shooting in Jacksonville over the weekend. Really sad situation. And I'm gonna just leave it at that, sis. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. And again, man, it's the beginning of the school year, and we know this is the first day of what's going to be, a lot of work. And over the course of the school year, man, we hear about so much stuff going on. So I just, pray for covering, over our kids. And all of those that have to come in touch with our kids, whether they're teachers, faculty, you know, police, whatever the case may be, man. You know, just watch out for our kids, man. Watch out for our kids. Not only those that are in elementary,
the lower grades, all of them.
Yeah, watch out
from 0 to 12.
Again, as I said earlier, the guy that did the shootings in Jacksonville was actually planning to go shoot up a HBCU first.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Got diverted and ended up at that store. You know, it's hard to say it was only 3 because then you're kind of like, oh, it was only 3 people, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. And those 3 people matter. So. Absolutely, they matter. So with that being said, man, I appreciate you guys. We will see you all in 2 weeks. Access screen. We love you guys. Give the heart. Jefferson Cleaners. Thanks for no
thanks for no thanks. I like that. Love you, sis. We out of here.
All right,
Maurice. Love you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Maurice.
Absolutely.